Welcome to the Conklin Community Panel Discussion. My name is Constable Robertson, and I will be your co-host.
My name is Brooke, and I'll also be your co-host.
We're here today to talk about cops and answer the important questions you sent in. Before we get started, we would like to humbly acknowledge that the land on which we live, learn, work, and play is Treaty 8 territory, traditional lands of the Cree, Dene, and unceded territory of the Métis. In April, the Wood Buffalo RCMP and the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo partnered in creating an opportunity for rural residents to ask a cop a question. What does this mean? Well, it's important that police officers are focused on making relationships with residents even better by creating more chances to chat with you. This is very, very important to the RCMP. In April, the Wood Buffalo announced this year's policing priorities, and one of our objectives is enhancing public confidence and engagement. It's discussions like these with students like you that support this year's goal. Throughout the Ask a Cop a Question campaign, rural residents across Wood Buffalo submitted questions online or at in-person events in our numerous schools. Now, we're here today to answer as many of those questions as we can. So listen carefully to see if you hear a question you submitted. On top of getting your important questions, rural students in grades 7 and 8 asked their friends and family to submit questions too, with the hopes of becoming community influencers. I'd like to thank the dedicated students that participated and asked so many interesting policing questions. Ensuring we have dedicated residents that love their community benefits the entire community. Each rural area had a community influencer chosen to represent their community base and submit questions. This encouraged I'm getting tongue-tied, guys, I'm sorry. Each rural area had a community influencer chosen to represent their community based on submitted questions and encouraging community members to submit a question. Congratulations to our co-host Brooke, who did a great job with this. And now, representing the community of Conklin, our community influencer, everyone give a hand to Brooke. Okay, let's get to it now. Now for the best part. Brooke has a list of questions. I'm excited to hear what she submitted. Brooke, you're up.
Wonderful. I'm totally ready for this. How many people did you arrest?
All of them.
How old is the RCMP?
Oh, that's a trick question. So the RCMP's been, as the RCMP that you guys know today, has been around for about 102 years. We originally started as the Northwest Mounted Police in 1873, and that's somewhere around, 149, 150 years ago? It's been a long time since I did elementary school math, so if anyone wants to verify that, you know where to find Google.
Who determines the need for an RCMP office in a small community?
That's a good question. Public Minister of Safety, maybe? The community members when they want to feel safe? That's a question kind of above my pay grade, but I'm going to have to look into that one.
Do you need special training to work with a police dog?
Yes. So besides all the, standard general duty training we do, if you want to work with a police dog, you have to quarry for several years. So basically you go with a dog handler. They teach you the ins and outs, and when they feel you're committed and ready, they will put you into the puppy program. And then you'll raise puppies for somewhere from 9 to 10 months, do their training, keep them at your house, all that fun stuff. And then after you've done that several times, so 2, 3, 4 years, depending on the program, then you get to go do your tests. You do your tests, you pass your examinations. They give you a police dog and post you somewhere. If you're lucky, you'll have one of the last dogs you trained.
Why is RCMP called RCMP?
Because we're the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. We have royal assent from the Queen. We are Canadian. And once upon a time, we rode around on horses, so we were mounted. I've never sat on a horse, and I plan never to. They look scary.
Do you like your job?
Oh, yeah. Today, I got caught in the rain, but besides that, my life is pretty good, and I like work.
Have you ever been in a school lockdown?
I've done a bunch of practice lockdowns with schools, but fortunately, we've never had a serious lockdown where there's been an issue in the schools. We've asked schools to go into hold and secure when we've had to deal with things in a neighborhood, but that's the closest I've been to a lockdown.
How long have you been a cop?
Somewhere around 13 years if you count training. When you get to my age, your memory starts to get a little fuzzy.
Is it scary to be a cop?
Sometimes. There's a lot of fun stuff and a lot of exciting stuff, but then sometimes we deal with scary situations or we realize how scary a situation was after we dealt with it.
Have you ever used your tools like your gun?
Yeah, I've had to use all my tools at some point. Thankfully, my firearm, though, has only been used in training or I've never had to discharge it on anything that's not been an animal. And I have handcuffs. I use these all the time.
Do you guys have donut time?
Donut time? Like time just dedicated to donuts?
Yeah.
No, not just to donuts, but we do get coffee breaks. And if it's up to the member if they want to partake in a pastry.
What influences you to become a policeman or woman?
What influenced me personally?
Yeah.
I was in the Army before this, and I liked the idea of helping people, and then I liked the idea of helping people in my own communities, so I thought it would be a good switch. And I got to travel all around Canada. I'm from Nova Scotia, and I never would have stepped foot in Fort McMurray if the RCMP hadn't have given me an opportunity.
Well, officer, that's all the questions we have for you today. Thank you, officer, for being so open and answering all our community questions. Today's community panel discussion will be available in the coming weeks on rmwb.ca as well on the RMWB's YouTube channel. We would like to thank the Conklin Community and Conklin Community School for being a part of today's discussion.
Thank you, Brooke. I'd like to provide a giant thank you to you and the rest of your school for being my co-host. I think you make a pretty awesome supporter for your community. I'd also like to thank Miss Natalie and again the Conklin Community School for your continued support and opportunity for the RCMP to build important relationships with its residents. The RCMP looks forward to future ways to continue the conversation with residents. To stay up to date with engagements, please visit the rmwb.ca/RCMP website. For policing questions or inquiries, please reach out to our non-emergency telephone number at 780-788-4040. Signing out for now.